Yo, what is the deal, everybody? What is the deal? Welcome to another Raider Nation Unlimited. I'm your man, Wasted Talent. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to everybody that is out there waiting for the draft to happen, baby. Let me tell you something. Man. I am so hyped right now, man. So hyped right now. So hyped. I'm ready. You know, the only thing is that I'm cautiously optimistic, right? Because I am starting to feel like something that we do not want to happen, something we're not expecting to happen, is most likely going to happen, right? Shout out to the over 100 of you in the room. Get wasted with your brother Wasted. Tell a friend and tell a friend. Share this thing out through all social media. Salute to everybody on X, formerly known as Twitter. Come on over to YouTube. We have cookies. Yo, and guys, shout out to everybody in the chat before I get to cooking. Shout out to my guy Rosetown, Dominique 5. Oh my God, Evil Mitch is in the place. CGR, the great and powerful, man of the people himself. CGR is in the place. Andrew Nera is in the place. Oh my God, I am not going to even start with this foolishness from Jenny Castillo from some gout gang. Jenny, you about to get blocked. Just F up out of it. Graham Cam is in a place, man. The general is in a place, man. Oh, my God. Bob Stannard. Never seen his name in here before, but Bob Lob Stannard, you are welcomed here on Raider Nation Unlimited, man. Shout out to my guy, Brandon the Jersey King Curtis. Guys, you guys got to go check out my guy, Brandon the Jersey King Curtis's business, man. This man is a man of the people. He gets all kinds of sports memorabilia out to the masses. We got to go support our guy, Brandon the Jersey King, man. Brandon, you know what's crazy? You just reminded me. I need to lean on Graphic Hater to send my damn package. But shout out to him for gifting 5 Raider Nation Unlimited memberships to the masses, making everything grow in droves. Let me tell you guys something. It's the best way to support the channel. It's pinned up at the top. Hit that membership, and guess what, man? My guy, Brandon, has just gifted you all. So do me a favor. If he gifted you a membership, pay it forward and thank the man. See, my guy, Daniel McDonald, knows what time it is, man. Now, guys, listen. Raider Felon is here just to unscribe. Yo, my guy, Rudy the Vet Russo is in a place. Rudy, what's up, brother? What's going on, man? Great to see my brother Rudy in a place to be, man, as usual. So, guys, let's get to it, right? There's been a lot of conjecture, right? There's been a lot of things where, people have been linking Ashton Jeanty to the Raiders. Everybody acts like it's a certainty. Everybody acts like it is almost a definite that Ashton Jeanty becomes a Raider. Everybody's saying this, right? And a lot of us are feeling like that. I was trying to tell myself, and guys, listen, this is happening early, so gather around the fire, ladies and gentlemen. Gather around the fire. But the thing with me is this, right? I did not want to have my hopes up too high. I wanted to stay kind of even keeled. I didn't want to lock in on one player like I did the last 2 drafts. Last year, I wanted Michael Penix Jr. I thought it was a guy that was going to be available for us. I thought it was a possibility. That is who I wanted. And we got Brock Bowers. That's a great consolation prize, right? But previous to that, I wanted Jalen Carter. And I was pounding the table for Jalen Carter. And I was telling everybody he was going to make it there. He was going to be there for us, right? And once he was there for us and we passed on him, I had a veritable meltdown. A happy dad fueled meltdown that was epic. It will be felt through the ages how I lost my ever-loving mind. My ever-loving mind. Now, see, this is the thing. The one thing that a lot of us are not accounting for is if someone moves ahead of us and drafts Ashton Jeanty. This is, and I'm going to be honest with you. I think that we need to recalibrate our mindset before the draft, before we go and have a damn meltdown. Now, there are a lot of things that I want to talk about that could possibly happen, right? We're going to talk about some Raider news today. But what I would love to do is I would love to broach this Ashton Jeanty situation, right? Because, man, you know, what do we do if this happens? What do we do if this happens? Right? What's the backup plan for the Raiders, man? Look, man, I would be completely remiss to say that I have a feeling because of the level of player that Jeanty is right now. We tell ourselves as Raider fans, well, they have ATN, they had this, they had that. But because of the level of player that Jeanty is, man, I can see the Jacksonville Jaguars just straight up taking him. And or another team pushing their chips to the front of the table and moving up in that spot and taking this guy. And, you know, it's something that a lot of us don't want to come to grips with. So if that does happen, what makes the most sense for you guys? What makes the most sense for you, right? Some people say it's Armand Memble, right? 0 sacks allowed in 411 pass blocking snaps in 2024. And that's per Pro Football Focus. Shout out to Pro Football Focus. I am a proud subscriber to them. People would say that's the move, right? Some people would tell you it could be Jahad Campbell, right? Maybe Jalon Walker. Maybe even, you know, Will Campbell if he's not taken, right? A lot of people say that. But look, if I'm being honest, right, I personally feel that if Jeanty is not available, you have to address another need on this team where there's a glaring hole. You have to, right? And I start thinking to myself, well, maybe you trade down and you take a wide receiver, right? Maybe you go out there, you get an edge rusher, which is not a complete and total need, but, you know, it is a need. You can't have too many pass rushers. Maybe you go out there in the secondary, take a Jahdae Barron, take a Will Johnson, who has not played well since 2023. Let me make no mistake about that. Let me be clear on that. Do you trade back? What do you do, nation? What do you guys feel? What do you do? Because the Raiders are in a precarious situation, right? You have a fan base that's over it. Because we're over it. We won't see no more loser, right? You have a coach that is of an advanced age, and he's not going to be around. He's not long for the Raiders. You have a guy who is a maniacal of a winner as I can think of in Tom Brady. You have John Spytek, who's fighting for his career. You might not ever get another GM spot if you do bad here, right? So people got a lot on the line here, man. The Raiders have a lot on the line here, man. And they got to make sure that it's the right decision for the Raiders and for the future as well, for the now and the hereafter in the future. Now, to me, some people say, what about Omarion Hampton at 60? That is way too high for Omarion Hampton. I don't want to disrespect and devalue the running back, but there's a line of demarcation between Ashton Jeanty and Omarion Hampton. And I didn't used to think so, but watching these guys, there is a lot. To be real with you, Omarion Hampton from a physical standpoint is probably top notch, right? But when you start talking about in between them white lines, then you got to get into the backs from Ohio State before you start talking about Hampton. To me, both of those backs are better than him. RJ Harvey, all them guys. Hampton at 6 is a reach, and that's just not. You know, look, for some people, he might not be a reach. He might be the number one guy on the board. For me, I don't see it that way. I don't see it that way. Now, let me ask you guys a question, right? Jeanty's gone. He's gone free and clear. There's nothing we can do about it. Mason Graham is on the board. Mason Graham is on the board. Are you taking Mason Graham? Are you taking Shedeur Sanders? Oh, man, Uncle's in a place to be, man. The legend Violators in a place to be. Good afternoon, Wasted. I hope that Raider Nation doesn't lock in on Jeanty because he might not be available at 6. I have confidence in the front office to get the soldiers we need to get busy. And I appreciate the comment, man. Appreciate you for pulling up and supporting the channel, bro. Thank you so much, man. Thank you. But yeah, I really believe that, you know, when you have a draft like this that is not as laden with talent as other drafts, right? Like, I think that there's a lot of talent in this draft, right? I think you're going to get starters out of this draft, but there's not a lot of top end talent, if I'm being honest, right? So you only have, you know, 3 or 4 players in this draft that you can look at and line them up and say, these guys are studs. Can't miss, slam dunk, stone cold, lead pipe, fact that they are going to be good. There is only a few of these men, right? There's only, you know, the Jeantys. There's only the Travis Hunters of the world. There's only the Abdul Carters of the world. And then the first quarterback, Cam Ward. And it kind of begins and ends there with the top end talent of this draft, right? So therein lies where the mystery comes in, because you might have some people that might take that swing on a position that they don't really need just because of the level of player that's available. You know, some people say Mason Graham is one of them, bro. I don't necessarily. I like Mason Graham, but people are making Mason Graham like he's the second coming of Aaron Donald. Right? So when we say BPA, right, it's like, is the best player available a stud superstar, or is the best player available just the tallest? He's just the tallest dwarf in the room, right? How much better is he than that particular need? How much better is that guy? Like, there's no good reason to go outside of drafting need, right? When you have a situation where the guy that's available is not much better than the guy that you need at that said position. Say, for instance, we go through our progressions. We move down a little bit, and Matthew Golden is there. You need a wide receiver. Ted McMillan is there. Why not take the number 1 guy, right? Why not take your quarterback of the future? There is a lot of things that are fluid in this draft, and I can't freaking wait for it, man. I cannot wait for it, man. Let me get some of these supers, man. Yo, shout out to my guy CGR with the wrench work. Appreciate the content wasted. Appreciate my dog CGR. Yo, appreciate my guy DeMokes. AOC for MVP is not downloading ever again. If we don't draft the kicker in the first, I'm going to pull a wasted and crash out. Listen, crash out now, my brother. Crash out now. Because Sebastian Janikowski is not walking through that door, brother. You better get the F up out of here with that crap. The Raiders have to get Sanders with the first. Steelers, Saints, Giants, and Giants will draft a QB before the next Raiders pick. They might not. My guy, Shane Neto. It's simple. Pick Jeanty or Mimbu. Bro, is it though? Is it really that simple? Is it that simple? I don't think it is. I don't think it is, man. I don't think it is, man. I mean, Barron. What about Barron? What about him? Mimbu. Lie out, lives depend on it, or trade back and get Barron. I listen, bro. I was trying to decipher what you meant by that. Where's the flag? You have to retype that for me, buddy. A lot of people say T-Mac is tall, but what else? You know, that remains to be seen at the NFL level, right? But this is the thing about BPA, right? And this is the thing about the message and the messaging that's out there for the nation, right? A lot of people are like, you know, Armin Minbu is the best. He's the greatest thing since sliced bread. No man can touch this. But this is a situation of a guy who was really created by the combine and by the year he had. This is not a guy who's performed at a high level on a consistent basis. That is the reason why I have Will Campbell ranked over him. But I don't know, man. I don't know. That's crazy, bro. That is insane, bro. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Let's get to it. Now, guys, let me ask y'all a question, man. Let me ask y'all a question, man. Have you guys heard about Jaylen Milroe? Like, now, Jaylen Milroe, and this report was originally posted on Gridiron Heroics by Ernest Leo Hernandez, right? But Jaylen Milroe, the former quarterback of the Alabama Crimson Tide, might soon join the Las Vegas Raiders, according to ESPN's Jeremy Fowler. Now, while the Raiders currently have Geno Smith on their roster, the addition of Milroe will be beneficial for the team's future. Smith played for the Seattle Seahawks in the previous season and will make his debut with the Raiders in the upcoming one, right? But Jaylen Milroe played for Alabama Crimson Tide from 2021 to 2024. And as, talented a quarterback as he was, man, as a runner, and a lot of people talk about his passing, Milroe threw for almost 3,000 yards and 16 scoring touchdowns while managing 11 interceptions for the Crimson Tide. So this has always been a guy who's taking care of the football, right? But in previous NFL seasons, right, Geno Smith has lit it up. And you got to ask yourself, man, if you do go out and go get that wide receiver, can you depend? Can you depend on the fact that, hold on, I'm sorry. Can you depend on the fact that if you go get a wide receiver, that guy's going to flourish into the kind of weapon that is going to bear fruit now? And that's the thing. And UA Mel is in here with his filth again. UA Mel, get the F up out of here with your crap. We know you don't want to draft a running back, man. I mean, God.
That's the tutorial. This is, you know what the fuck you doing.
I don't know what the F is wrong with UA Mel. Every day it's been an onslaught about the running back position, UA Mel. Shout out to my dog, UA Mel, yo. I mean, every day. Every day. Jeez. But I don't know if you guys heard about this Jaylen Milroe stuff. So everybody is saying, man, that Jaylen Milroe, and we all know that Jaylen Milroe has to improve on his skills as a quarterback. But the one thing that he is that he is a unique and he's a plus athlete. He is a major specimen from an athletic perspective. He is a guy that you can develop, and if he's willing to sit behind Geno, that succession plan is something that I would be really excited for. I'm not a big Jaylen Milroe guy, right, from a quarterbacking perspective, but the way he worked, the way he looked early in the season for the Alabama Crimson Tide, he looked excellent. Now, it kind of got a little spooky for him as their schedule got tougher, and that kind of shows me that, okay, he's going to need a lot of work at the NFL level, because if he struggled, in the SEC, he's definitely going to struggle in the National Football League, right? But I think this is the perfect scenario for Jaylen Milroe. Now, for me, I would love to see it if Milroe slipped to the third. Then maybe you can start thinking about it. Shout out to my guy, Jason, Raider Demon King, with the 5 Raider Nation Unlimited smackaroonies. Thank God. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you. You are doing the Lord's work here, man. The Lord's work, giving wasted talent memberships to the masses, my brother. My guy Roshak is in a place, man. Roshak, late to class, and Waste is already yelling at someone. Are you on your soapbox yet? That's when the show is fire. Love the content, man. Shout out to my guy Leaky. Kolton from Fuwag. I'm satisfied for that. Now, this is the thing, man. The Kolton Miller situation is something that, I touched on in the last show. A lot of people have been touching on it, man. People are saying that, and I want to get into this right now, man, that John Spytek is not ready to talk about the Kolton Miller contract, man. And I respect it, man. I respect it, man. They kind of ran down on John Spytek and asked him about the situation during the franchise's final press conference before the draft. And Spytek was asked about the situation brewing with their franchise left tackle. He wasn't ready to discuss it. He said in the public, right? He said, "I'm not going to give an answer. And it's just going to be going forward. We're not going to discuss contracts publicly. And this is certainly a voluntary part of the all-season program. So you guys are free to come and go as you please. And our guys are free to come and go as they please." Now, listen, this is the thing, and this is the reason why I love the way the Raiders are playing this, right? The Raiders are playing this thing close to the vest because they're leaving themselves a lot of flexibility, man. They're leaving themselves a tremendous amount of flexibility, man. So you're not painting yourself in the corner and going back on your word. They don't know which way they're gonna go because really they don't know which way the draft board is gonna fall. And look, I'm gonna be real with you, man. If the Raiders were to take a tackle as early as 6th in the draft, right? My expectation would be that guy would be starting. That's my expectation, right? My expectation that if Jeanty is available, then you keep Kolton Miller so you don't have to address that position that early. But I think the Raiders don't have their minds made up to how they're going to move with this. I love the approach of keeping your certain situations fluid. I love it. I don't like rigid single-mindedness when it comes to football decisions. I personally don't, man. I personally don't. I love the fact that they always have a contingency plan. I love it. I love the fact that, it looks like there's always a trap door somewhere for them to get out of some of the bad decisions they could possibly make. I love it. Now, look, man, like I said, we get Mimbu and Gino stays upright, then that's a win-win for us, right? My guy, Marvin Lewis, I respect the Spytek. Don't want to say anything because he's going to have to give that boy the boot. He might. Marv, he might, bro. And look, this is the thing. You don't necessarily have to find a replacement for one of your starters in the first round. The league is full of 3rd and 4th round guys who made it. 5th round guys, 6th round. The league is full of guys like that. So you don't necessarily have to, address it in the first round. But I would think that quarterback, left tackle, edge rusher are positions of premium. And those are the positions that you should key on during the draft cycle, especially nowadays with people who are able to just, I don't know, man, like you almost like cheat the system a little bit with technology, right? Almost. Hold up. Arlen Howard. Happy Monday, Nation. Raiders. Shout out to my guy, DeMokes. AOC is going to beat out Gino and Camp Cornstash for the win. Listen, let me tell you something, man. I don't think that your boy's going to be here, DeMokes. DeMokes, I don't think that Aiden will be here, man. I think the Raiders are being smart, and I think Aiden O'Connell could possibly wind up being packaged for a draft day trade, man. You got teams out there that are quarterback starved. They're starving. They're starving. They need competent quarterback play, bro. If Aiden O'Connell has been nothing else for the Raiders, he has been a competent young quarterback. Has he been a star? No. But let me tell you something, man. Has he been competent? Is he a guy that you can roll out there on a weekly basis and feel like I have a shot? Yeah, he's that. Telling you right now. Hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. Hold the phone, man. Hold the phone. Hold the effing phone up in here. Shout out to everybody in the chat. It's 500 of y'all in the chat. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me now. I very, very greatly much appreciate you guys. But hold the phone, man. I am fading here. I am tired. There's a lot going on here. I need to get this show on the road. You guys know what it is. You guys know what it is. No, I am not good right now. Sweetheart, can I have that jug and a cup of coffee, please? Thank you, sweetie. Appreciate it. The missus to the rescue once again. Once again. Once again. Yo, my guy, Lord Buddy Bear's in the place. My guy, Lord Buddy Bear, is in the place, man. He goes, I will live with it if we take Jeanty. But if we go receiver, corner, O-line, D-line instead, I'm celebrating. See, Lord Buddy Bear, right? It's not the position, it's the player for me, right? I think a lot of us are getting caught up in the position. We're not, what you got to do is you got to remove that. We got to look like at this in the other rounds, position, stuff like that. And it's the player too. But more so than at any time that I can remember, right? This is to me about the actual player, bro. This is about, and like, yo, shout out to all of the people who think that there's so many running backs and we can do better. Because, yo, that logic is sound logic. I can't really argue against it. Like, I can't really argue against it, right? Until next year, right? And just think about this. For all of the people, close your eyes and imagine this, guys. Because the guy that they compare Ashton Jeanty to, a lot of people compare him to Barry. A lot of people compare him to LaDainian Tomlinson. So if those are the two people that you compare him to, right, just from the law of averages, if he's anywhere close to that, you won the entire draft, not just the first round, unless Abdul Carter turns into Lawrence Taylor or some shit. Excuse my language. It's a family show. I don't wash my mouth out with soap. But this is the thing. This is what you need to look at, right? So if you're operating from a school of thought that there's a lot of good running backs, okay, great. So what happens if you draft a stone cold lead pipe Hall of Fame back, and say if you only get him for 5 years? I am willing to take those Priest home years, bro. I'm willing to take Clinton Portis the first act. I'm willing to take Barry Sanders the first. I'm willing to take that. I'm willing to take that, bro. I am willing to take that. Because let me tell y'all something. If we pass on him for some Johnny come lately, or another lineman or something like that, or the lineman's just okay, and then you watch Jeanty week after week after week after week after week score touchdown after touchdown after touchdown after touchdown and get yard after yard after yard after yard until he's at the top of the damn league. And our rushing attack is a middling rushing attack at the bottom of the league with a quarterback like Geno Smith that has never had a full assortment of weapons. How will that make you feel? Close your eyes and imagine this guy running up and down the field for the Broncos, or running up and down the field for the Bears or whomever, or the Jacksonville Jaguars, and then they come to town and he runs all over us. And look, bro, I don't want to be the look. You know what, UA Mel? Look, this is not Ezekiel Elliott. That is not what this is, bro. What this is the Raiders being true to what they need in their building at this time. Not making this some referendum on what used to be. Not making this a referendum on conventional wisdom, right? This is about the Raiders doing what the Raiders need to do to improve this particular roster at this particular time with this particular coach. And if you can't see that, then there's a sight blindness that I can't help you with. I can't help you with it. We cannot afford to let another Hall of Fame guy slip through our fingers again. You guys want me to go through the years of times where the very next pick, somebody has been a significant part of the history of this league was drafted? Significant. Thank you, sweetie. Appreciate it. Oh my gosh, she puts too much creamer sometimes, bro. I love it though. Raider Paulie. Raider Paulie. Paisan. Raider Paulie. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know if he's a part of the Jersey Shore crew. I love the name. Raider Paulie. Take Jeanty like your life depended on it. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Yo, JB Killer. VA. Do you believe we will do the right thing? Bro, but be honest with you. With this regime, I would be lying if I told you that I knew what they were gonna do. I don't. Like when you listen to the when you listen to the presser, right? You know, Spottek got rolling and Pete kind of reeled him in. You guys heard that. What I got from that is Pete's an old alley cat. You know, the one part of Graf's show that I saw today, I heard a little bit of it. I was, in the car, I heard a little bit of it. And he spoke to this, right? And Graf, get the F up out of here if you're watching. F you. But it's not shout out to my dog, right? But Pete's an old alley cat, bro. He definitely has been around the block a few times, right? This ain't his first rodeo. He knows exactly how to play this, right? So there could be, some smoke, right? Because sometimes I feel like the Raiders are definitely going to move heaven and earth to get Jeanty, right? And at other times it feels like they're baiting and switching right now. I feel like they're selling a used car for us. So it's a part of it that I feel like that. I didn't skip your super, UA Mel. I'm trying to get my UA Mel. Would you like to come on screen and do the show for me? The F up out of here, UA Mel. I'm about to read your super. A little pushy lately, UA. I am not forgetting any supers. Listen, man, I gotta let myself cook. Oh, I mean, what the F? Can men not barbecue in peace here? My gosh, ain't that? It's simple. Pick Jeanty or Milroe. My dog, man. My dog. My guy Shalib, the great. Unshalak lak Shalib. Betting odds have Jeanty at negative 125 plus 400 for our first round pick. just for some more insight, in the Jags plus 100 to take Jeanty, right? So Vegas has the Raiders pretty much favored to take Jeanty, right? Most of the time, Vegas wins. Most of the time. But guys, if you've been a Raider fan as long as I have, and I know a lot of you have even longer, right? You got people in here, you got get off my lawn generals, 5-star general, get off my lawn gang, guys like Teaser. My guy Dan Teaser remembers when the milkman used to deliver milk to his house. He remembers that. He remembers when Ward was being a little too hard on the beaver. Pause. He remembers that. Teaser and Walt remember a time, a simpler time, when Eisenhower was president. They know what time it is. Shout out to everybody, man. DeMokes is talking some filth and blasphemy, and you're lucky that my damn soundboard is not working because I will be blocking you with the sound. AOC gonna beat out Gino and Cam. Get the F up out of here with your crap. UA Mel, draft Mimbu allows us to move Glaze to guard. Then our O-line is almost set. Kolton, NA, JPJ, Glaze, Mimbu. This gives us 2 dogs and JPJ and Mimbu. Possibly. But look, I don't understand why the push to move DJ Glaze to guard when he looked perfectly fine at right tackle. How about you wait a little later in the draft and, I don't know, draft the damn guard by trade? Why draft a guy at 6 that you don't know can play tackle? You don't know if he's going to be any good, right? You don't know. And that you might possibly have to move the guard when you've already got a kid that has exhibited that the bones are there. The framework is there for him to make a nice right tackle. You just leave him there. And to me, that takes Jeanty out of the positional value standpoint from where I have him, right? Like, I don't want to draft a guy at 6 and I got to move the guard. My guy pillaging just for fun with the $2 smackaroonie. We don't take Shador. Is Will Howard a must draft? Look, I don't know if he's a must draft, but I know that they must draft a quarterback. Like Tyler Shuck is a guy that has been moving up on draft boards. There are a lot of people that says, well, he's 26 years old. But if I'm being honest, that doesn't mean anything to me. It doesn't mean anything to me as long as he's the goods. And there are a lot of people out there that are, there's some reports talking about Shuck is a better athlete than Shador and Jackson Dart, and he has a little bit better arm than both of those guys. So let's see how that translates in real time to the Raiders. Let's see, man. My guy, James High Stake Williams. How would you feel if Denver trades for Jeanty? I'd feel like crap. What you mean, how would I feel? How would you feel? How would everybody feel? You want to know how I would feel, bro? I would feel like I stopped and got ran over by this damn bus. That's how I would feel. I would feel like crappy crap. It'd be horrendous. It would be horrendous. I would be pissed. Absolutely pissed, man. Man, I'd be pissed. My guy, Shalib, gifting 10 Raider Nation Unlimited memberships to the masses. Thank you to the great and powerful Shalib. Shout out to, I'm not even reading that. I'm not even reading that, you sick freak. What kind of name is that on YouTube? This is a family show. The Crumbster. Salute, Wasted. How do you feel about drafting Siobhan? I would love if the Raiders were to get Siobhan Rebel in the 2nd round. That guy is super talented. Super talented. He's just what we need in our secondary. I would be ecstatic if we got Siobhan Rebel in the 2nd. Ecstatic, bro. Freaking static. And it's a lot. It's a lot, man, because you got a lot of these corners, man, that are super, super talented, man. But there are a lot of things that there are a lot of things, man, that have happened to some of these guys where they have this weird little, kind of question mark on him. Some of these guys have been injured, man. And Sharon Rebel, when you start talking about, you know, a guy that freaking came through some adversity, man, this is the kind of person that I would love to draft, man. He was a guy that was making waves as a potential top 15 guy, right? You know, but you know, he has some issues, right? He has some issues, man. The guy was phenomenal though this year, man. I mean, pure athleticism, man, long, rangy corner. His recovery speed is elite. His ball skills have improved. They weren't great, but they improved. And let me tell you something, man. It's a guy that you buy low and sell high on, right? You know, he only had 1 year of high level production before he tore his ACL. So it's the sample size that's in question for why, you know, people might not want to take him in the first round or might not in the second round. But the thing is, man, you can't scare money or make money, right? You can't be nervous to take a flyer on a guy with the physical tools this guy has, man. You just can't. And especially with Pete Carroll developing him. My guy, DeMokes. No 40, no vertical leap, no three-cone drill, etc. Am I the only one who caused to see this is a red flag? Even Saquon did some drills coming out. No, man, I think that in today's days and time, right, these guys need to keep the narrative at a certain place, right? I think, you know, look, competition is cool, right? But no good deed goes unpunished. I think pro days are the place if you are a top draft pick to showcase your skill set. Because at the combine, if you're a person who is a stone cold, lead pop, lock, fit, top 5 guy, you don't want to do anything to hurt that. The combine, for the most part, is for medicals and is for people who want to try to jockey for you know, draft position, who might not have the kind of profile that a guy like a Jeanty or a guy like an Abdul Carter or one of these guys, you know, that you just know are going higher. This is a place for them to showcase what they can do on an athletic level, strictly. So it's not a red flag to me at all that he's protecting his bag, bro. And shout out to Shalib for gifting the 10 Raider Nation Unlimited memberships. Guys, thanks, Shalib, if you got one. Let me get back in this chat, man. He still didn't do any of the drills at his pro day, though. Bro, I mean, and to me, it's a game tape kind of thing for me. I mean, you know, that's just me, bro. That's just me. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Jeanty just gives me some serious FOMO. Same with Shador. They could become the face of the NFL. They could, man. They could. Hey, yo, and guys, as Shalib just alluded to something, guys. I don't know if you guys know, right? This has nothing to do with football. This is strictly selfish on my perspective. So let me cook. We are exactly 34. We are a Bo Jackson jersey away from 14,000 subscribers. Now, guys, let me tell you what that means, right? There are a lot of people on YouTube, man, that you know, no disrespect to nobody, right? There are a lot of people who do a lot of nefarious things to get to where they are, right? There are a lot of people that pay for certain things, and I'm not here to disrespect anybody, right? I'm just speaking truth, right? And then you have people who do things from the organic metric, because as you can see, right, just based off of the engagement, you can see what somebody has people that are bought into their platform. And I can say I want to thank every single one of you guys, because you guys have bought in like you wouldn't believe, man. You guys put me in a place in this Raider thing where, you know, very, very early on, you guys gave me a lot of support, and I really appreciate it, right? But the thing about me hitting 14K, right? Why it means a lot is because once you get in the 14, 15,000 range, man, it is something that I never thought that I was even going to do. I remember wanting to get to 1,000, and that happened really, really fast, right? And then I remember wanting to get to 5,000. And now it's like, now I just, bro, I'm gonna be honest with you. I want to get as far as I possibly can with this, because this is going beyond just a labor of love at this point, right? This is going beyond that. It's going beyond that. It has gone way beyond that. This has become something that I feel like is a purpose at this point. And I appreciate every single one of y'all, man. And thank you for Raiders USC for gifting 5 Raider Nation Unlimited memberships, man, to the masses. Y'all thank this man for supporting the channel. And thank you for Raider Rant. Got a feeling Golden will fall in our lap in round 2. I don't. I think Matthew Golden, and I wanted to bring Matthew Golden up too, and I want to get back to the show. Look, Golden is one of those guys, man, when you start talking about wide receivers, if you believe that wide receiver is a position of need, 2 of them are going to go in the first round at the very minimum, right? It normally happens. That's kind of like boilerplate. I believe 3 possibly, and I think it's going to be Tet, McMillan, Golden, and probably Emeka Abu. And shout out to my sis, Yvette Niles. Shout out to her, man. Appreciate you, Yvette. Thank you. Appreciate you for all the support. But yo, I'm gonna be shout out to my guy Taino's in a place, man. So let's get to that 14K. So y'all, matter of fact, share this out to all social media. Shout out to my guy Taino. My brother, Taino Raider, man. Appreciate you, my dog. Yeah, John Danks was definitely here when I started. Yes, you were, bro. A lot of y'all were, man. A lot of y'all were, man. And it's been a hell of a ride. And we want to continue. We want this thing to grow. We want this thing to grow, man. We want this thing to go beyond, just here, man. So, I'm glad you guys are here. I'm glad y'all that support. We're gonna get to 14K. We're gonna get to it, and we're gonna get beyond it. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to Raider Felon. Raider Felon, you about to be unceremoniously blocked. So we appreciate you, Wasted. Now get back to the show, you effing bum. Get F up out of here. It's your crap. Graham Cam, do me a favor. Get this guy together. Get him together and block CGR. Take care of my light work and get Raider Misdemeanor to F up out of here with his crap. So, guys, let me ask you a question, man. When you start talking about wide receivers, this has not been the strongest wide receiver draft. And I was hearing some rumors that there's a first rounder from the 2022 class that could possibly be available. Some of these players are going to be subject to 5th-year options decisions, man. And look, I think this guy's going to get his option picked up, man. But, there's some questions that loom about Jameson Williams, man, the speedy wide receiver from the Detroit Lions, man. He became available. He in the draft a little later, he had an ACL. You know what I mean? His rookie campaign was kind of a write-off. But then, he had a gambling and PED suspension that limited him to 12 games of 2023. And, he showed plenty of potential and stuff. He took a major step forward. He had 58 catches, 1,000 yards, 7 tuds. But exercising the option on Williams, man, would set him up to be one of those guys that are making around 16 million per, right? Now, thing is that, he's on a roster with Amon-Ra St. Brown, right? And St. Brown deal averages 30 million a season, man. And I don't know if the Detroit Lions would really be able to afford that. This Sam Laporta's got to get his money. There are a lot of guys that got to get their money here, man. I believe that Jameson Williams could be had, man. I believe J-Mo could be had, bro. I really do. So let me ask you guys, what we doing? You the Raiders, what are you willing to give up for Jameson Williams? Or is that a guy you make a play on? Yeah, yo, it's nasty work too, Flores Plunkett. Because he said I had a wasted membership before, but the month ended, it wouldn't let me continue it. And then went to Grab Channel, no problem. Grab stealing one membership at a time. Yes. It's nasty work out here in these membership streets, man. But guys, I mean, look, this seems like a Raider ass move, man. J-Mo, it's a Raider ass move. It's a Raider ass move. Excuse my language. What do you guys think, man? Everybody says draft one, but dude, it's Jameson Williams we talking about here. It's J-Mo we talking about here. There's not one guy in this draft that could tie his shoes. Because look, there's a lot of motion with some guys that could be available. Now it's funny, man. Now, yo, my guy S. Dot. Now S. Dot just jumped the line once again. S. Dot jumped the line once again. Because wasted, just pay my bar tab. Jameis, he means J-Mo. You kidding me? Hell no. Rather go after Romeo Dobbs. Now, guys, it's funny, man. There's a story out today. It just came out, right? From Essentially Sports. I don't know how true it is. I'm going to read it to you guys. I'm going to read it to you guys. This story is from Utsven Jane. Came out today, right? Rumors are swirling around Romeo Dobbs, the Packers' young receiver, who has shown major potential in his plays. In an already crowded wide receiver room, Green Bay brought in McCole Hardman. And, you know, Romeo is probably wondering if it's time to find greener pastures to get on the field to dominate. The Raiders, on the other hand, have a new quarterback who needs some weapons under his belt for Geno. Dobbs could very well be that guy. He's a young, talented receiver, primed to break out if given the space. Now, Dobbs is coming off of multiple concussions last season as well as a one-game suspension. His numbers are different. Matter, though, he averaged 46 receiving yards per with a sweet 63.9 catch rate. He brings speed, size, solid route running, and could easily become a top option for Geno Smith. Now, the Raiders, you know, have been kind of trying to remake that room after getting rid of Devontae Adams, man. And Dobbs really can be put in the mix if Spytek and Pete Carroll at the helm would love to go and get him. Now, Brady talks about competing. Pete talks about competing. Brady talked about that football is a game of teamwork and resiliency and pursuit. Will Brady in this front office pursue a guy like Romeo Dobbs? What do you guys think about this, man? What do you think about it? What do you think about it? Like, see, this is the thing for me, and I'm going to give you guys, I want to hear what you guys think, but I want to give you guys a little perspective, right? The concussion part of Romeo Dobbs is what really concerns me, right? Because, you know, getting your bell rung like that, it just seems to me once players start having concussion issues and they're known as a guy with concussion issues, it doesn't ever seem like that gets better. It doesn't ever seem like that gets better, man. It doesn't. I'm sorry. You know, and I look at guys like Tua, and every time that guy, he doesn't even play for the Raiders, but just a human being. Every time I see Tua take a hit, I cringe, man. I cringe. I freaking cringe, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Get wasted with your brother, wasted. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Let me read these, man. My guy, DeMose. I've been watching you wasted for a grip now. I'm glad to see how far you've come. If you gave me 14K subs, all we be talking about is AOC, MVP, incoming, and I love Milps. Keep up the content. AOC, you are a sick puppy, but you're one of ours, man. Salute to my guy, DeMokes, man. Salute, man. Appreciate you, bro. Wait, hold on, man. Hold on. My God, DeMokes, man. It's crazy, man. Wait a minute. I got to go back. Yo, shout out to the flying wonderful Yvette Niles, man. Wasted, you are one of the best. Give you your flowers, rated for life, bruh. Thank you for the $20 holler, man, with the bomb. Appreciate you. Appreciate it. And I'll take my flowers. I thank you. Thank you so much, sis. Tony Brown. Wasted is always right. He was the first one that said Jaylen Ramsey would be available a month ago. And look what's happening with Ramsey now. Look, now let's talk about the Jaylen Ramsey thing. I wanted to kind of get into the Jaylen Ramsey thing last, right? Because we're almost around an hour. I wanted to get into the Jaylen Ramsey thing last and leave right now. Look, really quickly. Yeah, a lot of people, I like Kyle Williams, bro. But the thing about all of these wide receivers in this draft, I think that you have to take the approach of trying to catch light in the bottle and draft a guy in the 3rd or the 4th round, you know, maybe 2nd, whatever. It depends on how the board falls for you, right? Try to get one of these guys that will be a better player than you're expecting, right? But also, you have to go and you got to scour that free agent market and you got to scour the trade wire. You do. Like, there's more than one way to skin a cat. There's more than one way to get good players, you know? Like, look at Jacoby Myers. Sometimes you got to go outside of the building and outside of the draft process to fill in the holes on your roster. And a guy like Jameson Williams with the kind of speed and athleticism he possesses is something that I personally would love to see in the building. Now, I does a part of me think maybe he might get in a little trouble in Las Vegas? Maybe, but he's in Detroit, right? It's not like Detroit is, you know, rainbows and unicorn farts either, right? Ready USC. All these players the Raiders could trade for all come down to money. The Raiders have spent the offseason cleaning up the books, just waiting for the draft. Now, see, this is the thing, right? This is the reason why I think Jameson Williams would be the perfect guy to pick up, because you don't got to pick that 5th-year option up this year. So by the time that you're more financially solvent, then you can pay the guy if you so choose. You know, I haven't heard anything on the Pickens on the Pickens front, right? I think that a lot of what people thought about Pickens being traded was a lot of conjecture, a lot of people just assuming that Pickens wouldn't want to work with DK Metcalf, you know, the same number and, you know, that alpha dog thing. But you can have another receiver in conjunction with you, and you can do well. We've seen it happen numerous times in the history of this league, man. We forget, you know, Jerry Rice and T.O. played together. You can play with another great receiver. Tim Brown and Jerry Rice played together. It can be done. It can happen. All these players are, yeah, I just said that. I'm sorry. Yo, my guy. I was New Zealand Raider from all way across my. I was a pro rugby player most of my life. I've had 10 concussions, and I can remember what happened. And I can remember what you can't remember what happened an hour ago. See, bro, I'm telling you right there. Wasted put a lot of energy that ran early. Got to grab a quick nap. Get the F up out of here, man. Yeah, man. Concussions is no joke. Eddie Vanderdoes had him from my home down. His dad's bigger, stronger than normal people. Hug D's was in Auburn today. Taco Tree. I'm up to John thinks I don't know what the heck F you're talking about here, but I appreciate you. Appreciate you. Look, and to be honest with you, see, UA, when it comes to running backs, right? I'm sure the Dallas Cowboys would not give back them Zeke Elliott years for nothing. The thing is, you have to recalibrate and make the decision on whether you're going to keep the guy and be proactive and be smart about it. Because this is the thing. If you get a running back that's that explosive, who's to say we won't wind up in a Super Bowl in the next 2 or 3 years? then every yard he got and every touchdown he scored would be well worth it. And bro, and I really, really think that this is just what we call talking out of your ass. We don't know how well he's going to do. Why could you say he's going to have 3 good years and fall off the map? Yo, but you'll never know unless you take that swing. My guy, S. Waste is really trying to tank. Jameis, bro, dog, what the F are you talking about? I'm talking about Jameson Williams, S. the wide receiver from the Detroit Lions, not no effing Jameis Winston. What the F are you talking about? What are you talking about, S.
Shut your lame ass up, nigga.
The F are you talking about, S. The hell is wrong with you? Up in here talking about some Jameson. He like, well, yeah, he a bad motherfucker too. Get the F up out of here with your crap. S. I think you need to go to the gulags, man. S. Apologize. Asibbity Sap Rocky. You are going to the gulags if you don't apologize. Three y'all wasted. I stand correct. You had me thinking crazy, son. My bad. You damn right. Damn right. S. About to go to the gulags up in here. Shout out to my dog S. Man. Look, man, yo, S. has infected all of Raider YouTube with his freaking O-line talk. This guy is like, man, this is a Tom Cable of Raider YouTube, man. Unbelievable. S. and Demokes, man. So, guys, let me ask y'all a question real quick, too, before we get into this whole thing about Jaylen Ramsey, right? There's some rumors that Aiden O'Connell could be on the move, right? And there's some teams that are, you know, that you know, there's some people that might be, you know, agreeable to that. There's some people that might want Aiden O'Connell, bro. Yo, I'm telling you right now, Aiden O'Connell is a valuable trade chip, especially in the draft scenario, man. I'm hearing some things, guys. I'm hearing some things. People talk about the return on what you would get for Aiden O'Connell, right? Now, last week, Vic Tafur talked about the Raiders may be looking to trade Aiden O'Connell, and I tend to agree with that. And Tafur recently provided an update on that situation and revealed that the potential return that the team could receive for trading for him, right? He said the Raiders' new brass doesn't seem that high on the incumbent Aiden O'Connell, he wrote. Many expect them to trade him for a pick on day 3 of the draft, right? While, you know, receiving a 4th rounder at best for the team's former starting quarterback might not seem a lot. This is exactly the kind of move, the shrewd kind of move that the Raiders could and should make. Now let's not forget that the Raiders also drafted our best player in the 4th round. All of these picks are valuable. But I can see Aiden O'Connell winding up in Cleveland, bro. I can see him in Cincy, somewhere in Ohio. You know, he's a Purdue guy, Midwest guy. I can see it, man. I could see that him and his flavor saver mustache somewhere in the middle of the country, man. I could see him playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He kind of looks like a Steeler guy. My guy, the 609 Raider, man, New Jersey in the place. If AOC has trade value, that means he isn't a lost cause. Day 3 isn't bad, man. No, he's not a lost cause. He's not at all. Not at all. My man Graham Cam said it the best. He's like, I could see AO and Cincy backing up Burrow. I can see him going to I can see him going to Pittsburgh, bro. I really can. There are teams out there that need a QB. AOC may be that trade if a team miss on a QB they want. And that's a fact because he's a guy that you know that has started in this league. You know that. Matt Marinovich really hit on something big because you got to look at how the guy got here, right? Josh McDaniels. Yo, my guy Matt Marinovich with the power mullet. One of the best mullets in Raider history, man. Business in the front, party in the back. Shout out to my guy Matt Marinovich, man. Business in the front, party in the back. Oh, man, yo. I mean, what do y'all think about that, man? What do y'all think about that? Now, a lot of people compare this guy to Brady. He is not Tom Brady, y'all. Y'all need to stop that crap. Stop it. Listen, that power mullet, bro. Listen, and listen, no disrespect to Matty. Listen, I respect him. Respect the mullet, man. Respect the powers. Look, you know it's funny. Aiden O'Connell reminds me of like Neil O'Donnell. He does, man. I can see him being a Steeler, man. I can see him being a Steeler. Yeah, big time. Now, guys, I wanted to close out the show, man. Talking about Jaylen Ramsey. Now, you know, this is something that, you know, we brought up, we talked about, you know, and they've been agreeing to explore a trade. And I don't know, man. I mean, what do you guys think, man? I mean, there's some people that say that the Raiders need him. He would play great with Pete Carroll. There are other people that say that the Raiders don't need to trade for Jaylen Ramsey, right? Now, look, I like to give you guys the facts, right? As a player, does he have a lot left? Yeah. Is he up there in the 30? Yes. And you know, I don't know if I mentioned this in that short that I did about Jaylen Ramsey. He's owed a humongous amount of money over the next few years. He carries a $16.7 million cap hit in 2025. It has an out in his contract ahead of the 2026 season, right? So, like, if the Raiders were to bring Ramsey in, it kept him on a roster beyond that, they would inherit a $25 million cap hit. And if they take the out ahead of 2026, they take on an $18 million dead cap hit. Look, the team is in a position where we could tolerate a little bit of, you know, bad financial moves because we've been doing all right. But the thing is with this, man, you're trying to build something. You don't want to paint yourself in the corner, right? Now, you know, Ramsey's been pretty damn good. He's arguably the best at his position, man. And he's going to be 30 years old. I mean, he is 30 years old. He's going to be 31 this season, man. And I'm going to be real with you. You know, him being 31 years old is a lot of times the time where, you know, they say, let's see if I know the ledge, right? Rakim said that best. That is the time where you see the ledge a lot of the time. Now, the only way the Jaylen Ramsey deal makes sense for the Raiders is if his contract is severely restructured. And I don't even know if that's possible. UA Mel, with your crap, what are you talking about? So let me get this straight. Ezekiel Elliott is damn near out the league. Yeah, Jaylen Ramsey has a trade value 10 years later. Meanwhile, Ezekiel Elliott is on. Bro, Why is Ezekiel Elliott your case study for the running back? Why don't you use Derrick Henry as your case study, bro? Why don't you use him? I mean, I'm asking you, bro. Why you don't use him? Why don't you use all the great running backs that have gone to the Hall of Fame and put it in and play well? Why don't you use Marshawn Lynch as your case study? Why you got to use Ezekiel, crop top Elliott? Crop top for the guy who had a six-pack and went from having a six-pack to a keg. UA Mel, you are a running back hating person, you are. And you need to go get some help. Yeah, Derrick Henry went in the second round, but Derrick Henry also got paid. He got big money, bro. Derrick Henry ain't making no peanuts, brother. He earned his money and he got paid, and they kept him. I mean, damn. Ezekiel crop top Elliott. Look, what about Saquon Barkley? Yeah, Derrick Henry is definitely generational. He definitely is, bro. Derrick Henry, one of the best running backs to ever play in this league, bro. I mean, ever since they did that cereal video, man. Ever since they did that cereal video, there was no more Zeke to be had. Zeke was all jacked up. But guys, look. So look. The draft is essentially, let's get back to Jaylen Ramsey. The draft is essentially the best way for you to address and improve the cornerback room, right? Moves like trading for Jaylen Ramsey are the ones that catapult you through the playoffs into trying to compete for a Super Bowl. But what I will tell you is, man, I think, my football brain tells me this isn't the right move for the Raiders. My heart tells me that I would love for that to happen because Jaylen Ramsey is a player that I've admired from Florida State. He's a guy I've always wished was a Raider. So selfishly, it'd be dope if it happened. But from a financial standpoint, I really, 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 really don't think that that's something that can really go down with the Raiders, man. I mean, the Raiders are in a situation where we still have guys that, they're going to need their money soon, right? Now, we haven't located the franchise quarterback. We're not paying franchise quarterback money for Geno Smith, so that leaves you a little solvent, right? But you got to also keep on the horizon that you have guys like Brock Bowers that you're going to want to approach early and get him locked down. You have guys on his team, man. Look, man, and to be honest with you, listen, Graf is about to be unceremoniously blocked. Graphic Raider, let me tell you something. If you want to know if I farted, it did not happen right now. It did not happen right now because Graf, you of all people know what it is like for you to bust your ass on the air constantly. I told y'all, Graf is a stinking booty little boy. All he do is be farting and burping and booger picking. And y'all just allow this man to do it. Just allow him to do it, man. Just wiping his boogers on the table and farting. Graphic hater himself. Unbelievable. Now, you want to talk about some facts plus tax. That is something. And the man be up there farting like a damn popcorn machine. Yo, wait. Hey, what happened? Somebody get blocked? Raiders unleashed. Ramsey cannot hurt the Raiders. All he can do is help the defensive backfield. There's talk that he's always wanted to be a Raider. He has always wanted to be a Raider. There's not talks. That's a fact. He said it with his own mouth. How much does he want to be a Raider enough to restructure? How much? That's the question. It can those, you got to look at the structure of his contract to see how that's going to affect the Raiders cap. You have to, like, we just assume that the cap is this magic thing, and then you have situations like the Saints where they keep kicking the can and kicking the can down the, and then eventually that tab got to be paid. That tab got to be paid, man. Tab got to be paid. Sometimes you can't just keep kicking it down. Sometimes you got to pay. I'm just saying, you got to see if it's even possible. I'm not going to sit up here and tell you that I understand. Now, can I look and get off the air and kind of figure out what it would take for him to restructure? Yeah, right. But then the thing is, with a guy like a Jaylen Ramsey at this point in his career, right? He's gotten the world championship, right? He's played at the highest level. He's trying to put the accent mark on his career and get to the Hall of Fame. He's trying to make money. And just because, you know, he would want to play in silver and black, just because this is a no-tax state and Jaylen Ramsey has historically played in places with no taxes, no state income tax, which is a big thing when you're making that level of money, right? Thing is, if he restructures, he moves the money up. That means the Raiders have less room to move, right? So it'd probably be Jaylen Ramsey, the draft class, and maybe Kolton Miller, and then you're done. Do you want that? Like, the thing is he the cherry on top of this roster? You got to ask yourself, is that worth it? Is that worth it to the Raiders? Do you guys think that that's something that we need to do? Yo, shout out to my guy Hug D's, man. Hug D's, man. The one thing Hug D's has not been doing, he has not been hugging any food. This man is svelte. This guy has gone on a liquid diet. He's just drinking protein shakes and other kinds of pearl cup. No, stop later. I'll say that. Shout out to my guy Hug, man. This man is on a mission, bro. He's on a mission, man. I got to get on that same mission, right? Graf showed me a picture of myself when I first started podcasting, man. I think podcasting has put weight on me and it's put age on me. Because I looked like a kid when I first started podcasting. And now I got all gray hair. So I blame all of you. Hug D's is not eating. He's just living life. Hug D's is not eating, man. That man is losing weight, man. Hug D's is shrinking. I had a lot more hair. Yeah, I did. Michael Avila. It would be nice to get him, but what would it cost? I just told you what it would cost, Avila. I just told you a whole hell of a lot, brother. A whole hell of a lot. And this is the thing. JP Lacassie always coming with the smack. Yo, Jacoby Myers is going to need a deal. Yo, it will be a great pickup theoretically, bro. But from a realistic standpoint, I don't think that is something that the Raiders can really afford to do at this point. Unless you wrap your mind around the fact that you would be losing Jacoby. Listen, I don't blame the MILF lovers. I congratulate the MILF lovers. Congratulate them. But guys, look, man, I think it's time. You know, I've been having you guys gathered around the fire for a long time, man. Long time. Now, I think it's time to wheel this train into the train tracks. Now, UA Mel, he has been the star of the chat today. He's been problematic, and my bouncer should be throwing him out of the club. But now, UA Mel, look, this is the thing. I think that if you don't sign Kolton, right, and you don't, and you're okay with the fact that Jacoby's going to walk, then maybe you make the Ramsey trade. Maybe. Yeah, my guy. I'll be back tomorrow. So I've been throwing out a bit of clubs in this. But listen, I mean, guys, that's the thing. Like, if you draft Kolton's replacement, you move on from Kolton, and you wrap your mind around the fact that Jacoby's not going to be here, then maybe that leaves you a little more fluid to make that move. Most people will want the latter. They will want, Jacoby to get signed and for Kolton to get signed because they fulfilled two needs, right? And they've been good players, and they're Raiders. They've been here, right? Yeah, listen, I like Dont'e Thornton out of Tennessee, bro. I do. But the thing with Dont'e Thornton is you got to ask yourself, is it Tennessee? Because Tennessee seems to be the masters. Josh Heupel and them down there, they seem to be the masters of having a loaded roster with talented players that have not quite lived up to the dream. It's looking like that. Like, it's weird, man. Something down there in the water. Something down in the water. Yo, shout out to my guy, Garyon Connolly, bro. I got to text him because we're supposed to be, I wanted to bring him on because I wanted to talk about some college football stuff with my brother, man. And I wanted him to highlight some of the things he got going on. But he's a great guest, great guy. You know what I mean? Tremendous guy. We're gonna be doing that very, very soon. Yo, shout out to my guy Garyon, man. This is going to be, we're gonna get some more guests on in the off season too, man. I know sometimes some of y'all don't like a lot of the shows with guests. Some of you guys do, but we're working on some things behind the scenes. I normally don't say anything till it happens, but that will be happening very, very soon. It's already done, man. But guys, let me tell you something. Shout out to my guy S. Dot. Shout out to UA Mel. Shout out to Yvette Niles, CGR, Joe C, L11. L11, man. J. Rowe in the place to be, man. Steve Harbart. CT Silverbacks in the place. Where's the flag? Hug D's, hug this. Anthony, you never get any props. Get the F up out of here. Don't return. J. Bud is in the place. JP the Kase. I mean, everybody that's in the place that supported the show today. Thank each and every one of you guys. I think it's time for me to see whether or not we got the prerequisite amount of subscribers. Guys, we are 30 away. 30 away from 14K. Guys, pay your par tabs. Share this thing out to all social media. Everybody on X, formerly known as Twitter, come on over to YouTube and hit that subscribe button. It costs you nothing. Thank you. Yes. And you know what's funny, man? Anyone who constantly gaslights wasted should be thanked. That's right. 3 clicks. They're doing the Lord's work. That's right. 30 away. He said, crash the car, wasted. Get the F up out of here with your crap, Rudy. Rudy, I'm about to send you something on your phone right now. The F up out of here with your crap, Rudy. But guys, listen. You guys have a terrific night. Love and appreciate every single one of y'all. And I'm going to take Mondo Reyes' advice and F up out of here, wasted talent. Yes, F up out of here to all of you too. You guys have a great night. Go enjoy the playoffs. Go enjoy Raw after WrestleMania. I won't be watching WrestleMania or Raw. But listen, I have been known. I don't even want to say that. It's a family show. You guys have a great time, man. I'll talk to y'all. See y'all tomorrow, man. Peace.